So today I would like to welcome a special guest speaker, Maria Tymchuk, who is a Christian poet and has published a book titled From Love to Happiness that includes a lot of her poems. So Maria, you are an Ukrainian Lebanese poet and writer, and you began writing poetry in childhood at the age of 14, and you won the National Ukrainian Poetry Contest Calleja in 2005. Maria, can you introduce yourself to the listeners of who you are, your Christian background, and tell us about your relationship with Jesus?
Thank you so much, Mr. George, for your invitation. I am delighted to be a guest speaker on your Christian podcast. It's an honor for me. I am a Ukrainian poet. I lived in Lebanon for a few years and now I live in Canada. I was connected to God from early childhood. I had a Bible for children with beautiful illustrations. I read it almost every day. Every Sunday I went to church with my parents. I started writing poetry when I was 6 years old. I wrote simple 4-line poems about nature, flowers, my favorite animals, dogs and cats. When I grew up, I started writing more spiritual and motivational poems. My poetry reflects my faith, and I hope it inspires others to find their spiritual path. For many years I studied happiness, and at this moment I concluded that a human being cannot be happy without trust in God. So I trust in God and I love God, who has made miracles in my life. And I recognize Jesus as my God. Jesus is always in my heart.
So Maria, thanks a lot for what you shared about yourself, and it is really interesting that you started writing poems from the early age of 6. Now Maria, you had the privilege that your marriage was blessed by Pope Francis at the Vatican. Can you tell us about the special occasion you had with the Pope, and especially what does a Christian married life means to you, and how you put Jesus in the center of your marriage?
Pope Francis blessed our marriage at the Vatican. It was an unforgettable event. My husband has known Pope Francis since he was the Archbishop of Buenos Aires. My husband also has Argentinian citizenship, and he lived in Argentina then and did charity work as a philanthropist. So it was my husband who organized the meeting with the Pope at the Vatican. Pope Francis immediately recognized my husband and was very happy to bless our marriage. It was an extraordinary moment in our lives. And to me, a Christian married life means praying together and treating each other as images of God. So we pray together and do our best to be good with each other. Jesus is always helping us to be with God and gives us the power to solve all our problems.
Now, Maria, thanks for sharing about Christian marriage and of the importance of praying together as wife and husband. Also, thanks for sharing about your experience when meeting the Pope. Maria, you are a poet and your poetry focuses a lot on Christian values. Can you tell us more about how you started writing poetry and why you find it important to write poetry with Christian values? Tell us about where one can obtain your poetry book titled From Love to Happiness.
I started writing poetry in early childhood. God gifted me with writing talent because it was easy for me combining words to show people an image of something or evoke an emotion. And I feel that I must serve people and glorify God with my talent. It is beautiful to create something in life, share it with people, and help them improve their lives. Everyone has many problems in life. People can feel tired, frustrated, and weak, and it's okay. What matters is what they will do after experiencing these emotions. And my poetry is to support them. And Christian values help me awaken in people a desire for life, joy, and hope. My poetry book, From Love to Happiness, is about the importance of love and happiness in our lives, and it's available on Amazon.
Thanks a lot, Maria, especially about your poems that support people when passing through difficult time in life. Maria, before ending this interview with you, I invite you to read a particular poem of yours taken from your book titled From Love to Happiness, and the poem is Not All Returned Home from the War. Maria, can you tell us why you wrote this poem, what it is about, and why peace is important? And after you read the poem to us, I want to give you the opportunity to also pray for peace in Ukraine and in the rest of the world.
Not all returned home from the war. The children were waiting, longing, and hoping. And heroes who gave their lives for the motherland asked through plagues of honor how their families would live without them. And the orphans cried from despair and pain because their fathers were not with them anymore. A small child came to the grave of his father and asked, "My father, why did you leave me? I am suffering so much without you." And with tears he sprinkled the grave and asked heaven for compassion. I wrote this poem a few years ago because I suffered for my country, which has had a war since 2014. After a full-scale invasion in 2022, all of Ukraine is at war. I feel extreme pain that people die and mothers lose sons, children lose fathers, and women's husbands. We cannot imagine their suffering. I pray to God this cruel, terrible war ends as soon as possible. War is death, and peace is life. People need to live. God, please save Ukraine and my people. Be with them and give them strength to survive. Mr. George, thank you so much for your invitation. It was an honor for me to be here. God bless you.
Thanks a lot, Maria Tymchuk, for sharing about your poems and also for sharing about the experience you have gone through due to the war in Ukraine. I promise you all of my prayers for you, for your family, and especially for the war in Ukraine to end so that peace may reign. So God bless you, Maria, and encourage the listeners to get hold of your book, From Love to Happiness. God bless you, Maria. Hello, I am George Calleja, Christian author, Christian podcaster, and I would like to thank each and every one of you who have provided me with positive feedback about my Christian videos so that to share the good news further in the world. I would like to give you the opportunity to email me at peacethroughunity@gmail.com, peacethroughunity@gmail.com, if you want me to share here for you or to ask for advice about your Christian faith. So God bless you, take care, and waiting for your emails. Remember, email at peacethroughunity@gmail.com.